You know, we're all given this rule book for how to handle our money. But what if that rule book is actually a trap? What if the most common financial advice out there is designed to keep you from ever really being free? Well, today we're going to blow the lid off 3 money lies you absolutely have to stop believing.
But first, I've got to tell you a story. And this isn't about someone who got some random bad advice. No, this is about a massive, spectacular failure that happened because someone followed all the right advice. I mean, picture this. You've raised money from the best investors. You've got a fantastic product, and you're the biggest shareholder in a company doing $100 million a year. You've literally checked all the boxes.
And then, in a single year, between the ages of 36 and 37, he burns through 100 crore rupees of investor money. We're talking over 12 million US dollars. Gone. A complete and utter failure. So, what on earth went wrong?
And here's the kicker. The reason it all fell apart wasn't because the advice was bad. It was because he just followed it blindly. That popular startup mantra of raise fast, spend fast, scale at all costs, it just wasn't the right move for his company at that time. And that's a huge lesson for all of us. Advice is not one size fits all.
That story is the perfect setup for the first big lie we're all told. Your home is your greatest asset, right? It sounds so solid, so responsible. It's what our parents did. But in today's world, for a lot of people, it's actually a financial dead end.
I mean, think about it. Buying a house in your 20s or early 30s, you're locking yourself into a massive 20 or 25-year loan. You're tethered to one city, one neighborhood, right at the time when your career could explode if you were flexible. In an age of remote work, why would you chain yourself down so early?
Let's just break down the math. In a place like India, rental yields are super low. So for a home that's worth, say, 1 crore rupees, your mortgage payment, your EMI, could be around 75,000 a month. But you could probably rent that exact same place for just 25,000. That is a 50,000 rupee difference in your pocket every single month. So what could you do with that extra 50 grand a month? Well, instead of just handing it over to the bank, you could invest it. Over 10 years, that money can grow into a really substantial pile of cash, giving you the freedom to put a massive down payment on a house later, when you're actually settled and financially ready for it.
And this whole idea of building wealth patiently, it leads us right into the second big lie. The myth that you have to be this super active investor, that you've got to time the market, buy low, sell high, and be a stock-picking genius to get rich. The conventional wisdom is just plain wrong. Here's the real key. You don't need to be an active investor. You need to be an active earner. Pour your time and energy into your career, into your skills, into your business, the things that actually grow your income.
Let's be real. You're probably not a full-time fund manager, right? And trying to act like one is just a distraction from what you're actually good at, earning money. Trying to outsmart the market is a full-time job, and it's a game where even the top professionals struggle to win all the time.
And guess what? You don't have to win that game. Check this out. The Nifty 50, which is just a simple index of India's top companies, has delivered an average return of 12.1% over the last 10 years. And that's a pretty powerful return for doing, well, basically nothing.
And here's the real clincher if you're thinking long-term. If you pick any 10-year window in the entire history of the Nifty 50, it has never, ever delivered a return of less than 8%. Just think about that for a second. That is an incredible track record of reliability. With returns like that just sitting there for the taking, passively, why would you waste your precious time and energy trying to do better?
All right, on to the third lie. And this one is everywhere these days. The idea that having more income streams automatically makes you more secure. We're all told to hustle, build side gigs, and turn every hobby into a business. But this constant hustle, it usually just creates chaos. When you spread yourself thin across a job, freelancing, a side business, and maybe trying to be a content creator, you never really master any one thing. You can't build that deep trust and connection. For example, some creators choose not to run ads. They're giving up a lot of money, but they're doing it to build a stronger, distraction-free relationship with their audience.
The answer, and it sounds kind of crazy, is focus. See, every time you say yes to some new opportunity, you're quietly saying no to something else. And usually that something else is going deeper and achieving excellence in what you're already doing. Saying no isn't about limiting yourself, it's about liberating yourself. It cuts out the chaos and lets you pour all your energy into what actually matters.
So yeah, avoiding these 3 lies is a great start. But the most important financial lesson isn't really about tactics, it's about your philosophy. And sometimes you only learn that kind of lesson when you hit rock bottom.
The person behind these ideas shares this really personal story from 2017, right in the middle of that huge business failure. He was almost 40, his company was collapsing, and they had just 30,000 rupees left in the bank. His son wanted a bicycle for his birthday, and they couldn't even afford it. His wife had to sell her gold bangles just to buy the gift and cover their expenses for the next month.
A moment like that, it just breaks you. But instead of asking, why me, he asked a totally different question, a much more powerful one. In order to live, to actually be happy, how much money do I really need?
Answering that one question, it changes everything. It completely shifts your perspective and redefines what it even means to be rich.
This is what real financial freedom is. It's not about having $1 billion in the bank. It's about knowing your enough number, the amount of money you need to live a happy, fulfilled life without being a slave to the next paycheck, the next promotion, or the next deal. See, money isn't for buying things, it's for buying your freedom.
There's this profound saying from Confucius that just nails this idea. He said, "We all have two lives, and the second one begins the moment we realize we only have one."
Well, there's a financial version of that. Your second financial life begins the moment you realize you have enough money for the one life you've been given. The second you hit that number, the whole game changes. You stop working for money, and you start working for purpose, for fulfillment, for yourself.
So forget all the checklists and the hustle culture for just a minute. The single most important financial question you can ever answer is this one right here. What is the life you truly want to live, and how much money do you need to live it? What is your number?